Hello and welcome to Nbyula Talks. Before we begin, we have a few updates and reminders for you. Hello and welcome to Nbyula Talks. Before we begin, we have a few updates and reminders for you. We would love to have you be part of our Nbyula community. And you can do so by logging on to www.nbyula.com, where you can join communities related to your area of interest, register for upcoming Nbyula Talks, book one-to-one skylifts, and view other upcoming events. You can also take this opportunity to connect with fellow learners or the speaker by sending a connection request. When you connect with the speaker, you will be able to contact them directly, as well as receive updates about their upcoming talks. Kindly note that during this session, you will not be able to switch on your camera or unmute your mic. To ask questions during the talk, go to the audience chat, type your question, and select Post Your Question. If your question has not been answered during the talk, you will be notified once it's been answered, or if your question has not been answered during the talk, you can go to www.nbyula.com and spin a quest, and your questions will be answered. Thank you for joining us today. We hope this talk broadens your horizons and takes you to new learning heights.
Hi all, can you hear me? So I'm Samannata Srinivas, community content creator, a proud terraformer as we all call ourselves at Nbyula. So Nbyula is an edtech firm reaching out to people who want to go abroad for their higher education or stay. Nbyula is a community that helps aspirants eliminate their fear of staying in an unknown land while studying or working. To help them shape their future in an aesthetic way without any glitches, we have created a platform that could help people wandering about. There are expats who push their boundaries, and we have built a powerful podium to join people and technology that come together as one to wave the wand into creating magic for people. We are believers in smooth expeditions and would definitely eliminate the barricades that would keep people away from reaching their target destination. So here we are today doing one of the many things that will be of help to you all. That's nothing but our Nbyula Talks. We have been doing this for quite some time now, keeping in mind that it will provide insights to people that want knowledge about working, studying, and life abroad. Today, we'll discuss an infamous scholarship program called the Erasmus Mundus. It's a European scholarship that will aid people to pursue their masters abroad without having to spend anything. Those who have attended the previous talk will have a slight idea about this scholarship and what it actually is. But for the unfamiliar ones, we have a more known and a well-versed person to let you know all what this program actually is and what it provides. We already had Ms. Arohi Garg on our platform who represented her scholarship and she presented her insights on the same. We also met Mr. Vignesh on the same day. So here he is with us today, finally, to share his journey with us. So let's welcome Mr. Vignesh NP on our platform. Welcome, Vignesh.
Hi everyone. Hi Samannata. Really happy to be here. I hope I can provide some valuable information to all.
Yes, definitely. So he's an Erasmus Mundus scholar from the university in Sweden. So we are really elated to have you as our guest speaker today for the Nbyula Talk. So let us know about how you're feeling being with us here today.
Yeah. So first of all, I am also very happy to join this, and I'm really proud that you guys chose me to do this thing, and I could be of help to anyone who is looking forward to this. And basically, I just wanted to give some idea into what I did, what worked for me, what didn't work for me, and I just feel like these things could be helpful to the people who really want to get into any kind of scholarship, not just Erasmus, because most of the scholarships, their criterions and the baselines and the guidelines are all kind of similar. So I hope that all these will be really helpful to people who really want to crack these scholarships or want to go abroad for their studies.
That's really great to hear, Vignesh. So let's also welcome the attendees who have been really waiting for this to happen. So hello all. I hope you had a good day today. It's a lovely evening here in Bangalore. And how is it there in Sweden today?
Uh, I wouldn't say it's lovely because it's minus 15 right now. But yeah, it's cozy inside. I'm currently in my university library. It's good inside, but going out is not one thing I prefer right now, and nobody prefers it right now. Except for ice skating, I wouldn't go out right now.
Okay, that's nice. That's
Yeah.
actually, as I can imagine, it sounds fun, but only if you come there and experience, I think it's going to be worth the living there.
Yeah,
So yeah, so
that's it.
let's not let's not keep anyone waiting any longer. They have waited enough for you to talk about the scholarship on our platform. So
Yeah.
let's go ahead. So Vignesh, it would be amazing if you'd share your journey with us. Let us
Yeah.
know where you studied and what inspired you to do your masters away from home.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll start from the college time, I guess. So basically, I did my bachelor's in polymer science and technology, which is related to chemistry. And I did this in Cochin University of Science and Technology, which is in Kerala. And after this, I got placed into a R&D organization called Apollo Tires in Chennai. And I worked there around for 3 years. And around, I think it was around my second year that I felt I need to do something more. I needed to try something else, and then I started to prepare for this scholarship. And it's also like I never prepared for any other scholarship other than this, but I also applied for other scholarships and I got one too. But this was the one I really wanted to have, and I would say I really planned everything which I wanted to do, and I really phased out all the things I wanted to do in a real Excel sheet. Like I'm an Excel guy. I plan out all my things in Excel. It's just I think it's a residue of my work which I have been doing. It's like I do everything in Excel. My budgets, my plans, my holidays. I don't know what I'll do without Excel. I'm an Excel guy. So basically I planned everything down on Excel, and then I did it. Like I worked out how to do this, and then I put my effort into it to get this. And then luckily I got the scholarship. I was one of the, I think, 141 people in India who got this time around.
That
Yeah.
sounds inspiring and interesting as well.
Mm.
So, let us know what your study routine was in order to gain the scholarship. Because
Mhm.
I really know, like how you told, out of 141 people, you were one of them.
Mhm.
So, it's not a really a small thing. So it's out of just out of so many people, you're getting chosen. So just
Mhm.
let us know what extra you did for the study routine of yours.
Okay. So I don't know whether this will be helpful for all the people who are in college right now, but I'll say that in my perspective, like I was working full time, and my work will be around 9 hours per day. And even though I had weekends leave, like vacation leave on weekends, I would generally go on weekends too. And then traveling took around 2 hours per day, so I basically had very less time. And then I had to come back, cook, and then do the daily chores, and then I had no time at all. Basically, it will be around, I go out around 7 a.m. in the morning, and then I come back around 7 8 p.m. So it was basically, then I had to cook, and then there is absolutely no time to actually study. If you think like you cannot study, then you basically just cannot. And then I at a point I just understood, if this goes on, then I just can't do this. And sometimes what I did is, I started studying after my work in a campus itself, in a company itself, after my work. And then that also didn't work out really, because I got really burnt out. Then my routine, what I did is, I woke up very very early. I started waking up at around 4:30, and I basically slept around 12, which is something that I would not prefer to do if you ask me. But this was the only option I had actually. So it is like, I can't say that I didn't work at all and then I got this thing. I actually worked for this, and it's like I worked till 12 and then I woke up at around 4:30 to get things done. And the most time I would say is I'll just try to understand the structure of the scholarship first of all. That's what I did, at least for the first 1 2 months. And then it took me some time to understand what's happening, and then I was like networking around with different people on LinkedIn, on different social media platforms, and understanding what they require, what kind of people are they looking for. And I would say I was not the I was never the number one or number two or number three student in my class. So it's like, so never think that I was that guy who could just crack anything he goes for. So it's like I worked for this and I knew what to do, kind of. So I talked to a lot of people who are actually doing these programs, and I planned out like these are the programs I'll aim for. And I specifically tailored all my things like CV, SOP, my LORs, everything, so that this could fit in to the profile they're looking for. And that is the thing I think that stood out, because I know people who had like much, what to say, academically proficient profiles than me, because some of my friends or some of the people I know also applied for this. But I got this just because I think one reason I would say is luck, of course, but other reason I would say is my profile suited them better than my profile standing out. So it is like they want the person who is best suited for them, rather than a person who is good in everything. So I think I worked out for that. I worked out the first 2 months to understand what the structure is, and then I tried to work on it every single day. That's really important. Consistency is really important. It's not like I just woke up one day and then worked 12 hours and then slept. I tried out every day to understand what's going on, to work on this every day. I think this went on for 8 months, around 8 months, since the application starts from November to January. That's the general timeline for these. So I started around, I would say, February, March, and then I worked for this. And my structure and things which I did, I can show you later on if you want. But this is basically what I did. I planned the things and I did it, and I checked on what's happening on a weekly basis, like how much progress I'm having, and then I acted on it to redo. So this was like a PDCS cycle. So planning, doing, checking, and acting again, kind of thing.
That's really inspiring, actually, and it sounds hectic as well.
Mhm.
I don't know, like how many people out of our audiences are already thinking that it's a hectic thing to do, but
That's
then
what.
it's quite inspiring, Vignesh. So
I
we
don't
would.
wanna, I don't want to bog anyone by saying that this can only be done by working for like sleeping for 4.5 hours. It's because my work required it to do this kind of thing. But if you're a college student, or if you have a much lenient work structure, then I guess you can also do it. It's just that I couldn't find any other time because I had to cook for myself, I had to look after myself, and then I was also doing personal stuff around that time, and I also watch football regularly, which I just cannot miss. And then I had to balance all these, so I had to like cut down on some stuff, which was sleep. And that's not really a good thing, because I got messed up a lot after this. After I got it, like 2 months just couldn't sleep properly. So that's also another bad point which I have to say. But yeah, if you like, you have to sacrifice something sometimes. That's all it.
Right. So let us know how you learned about the Erasmus Mundus scholarship. And
Okay.
also, people, there's a bonus here. Vignesh is going to present what he's talking about. So let's see what he's got.
Should I present the Excel sheet which I planned out for?
Yeah, definitely. That would also do. And the presentation that you've made, both would do. Both the presentations can happen next to each
Just,
other. Yeah.
just a sec. I can just show you the thing which I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So before showing this, I'll just give you a brief outline on how you should go forward in like not just this scholarship. Like if you want to get something and if you want to go abroad and study abroad, like how you should plan your stuff out. So basically, everybody just says like you should just see a program and then go for it and stuff like that. One thing which I did is I wanted to I first understood tried to understand like what kind of courses I love and what kind of courses I can go for, rather than just choosing random MBAs or random stuff, like anything which seems good or anything which has some kind of scholarship attached to it. because that isn't helpful, because the interviewers or the board members will just know that you're here to get the money, and you don't mean anything by this. If you're not passionate about a thing, it's just not worth it. It's just not worth your time, and it's just not worth their time to give you the time and money required for this, because it's a big project which they are doing. Erasmus Mundus, as you know, they give out around, I would say, if I say worth how much Erasmus Mundus is, it's much more than 50,000 euros, because that's what they give in all. But it's much more than that, because of the experiences you get, because of the intercultural trainings you get. It's much more than that. So if someone is investing that much amount of money on you, then they should see something in you. And that thing is basically, you should showcase that you're good enough for this kind of course, whatever course there is. So there is like around 83, 84 courses right now. I think it has increased this year, but I'm not sure. So 84 courses. There are courses ranging from like puppetry to art, to even water science. There is plant breeding. There is material science. There is rocket science. So there is all kind of stuff. It's not just for the people who are looking into engineering. So there is all kind of stuff, all kind of thing which you can be passionate about. It can be even stuff which you have not done your undergraduate in. So the course which I took is not even my undergraduate course actually, which is tougher actually, because now I have to show that I deserve to get this. So what I did is, I tried to find out the courses which I like. So that was my first plan. And then I wrote down the specific requirements required for this. So I'll just show that Excel sheet to you. The requirements for this, like requirements like what are the certificates required, what are the if there is any GPA required, what are the IELTS score or TOEFL score required for this. So what I did is I just charted out everything in a single Excel sheet, so that I can keep track of what is happening. And then I made like the SOPs or LORs. Or LOR SOPs means, sorry for people who don't know, SOPs are statement of purposes, and LORs are letter of recommendations, and CV is your resume or curriculum. And so basically, what you need is, you need to plan out these things, and then you need to work on it on a daily basis. So I worked on it on an Excel sheet, and then I tried to keep track of everything that's happening. So I'll just show you the Excel sheet, and just let me know if you have any doubts related to it in the comment section or the audience chat. I'll just try to clear it off at the end, I guess. Is that okay, Samanvita?
Definitely, Vignesh. Yes.
Yeah. Just let me know when you see the screen. You can see it?
Yes.
Awesome then. So I'll just take you through this. So you can see what I did is just giving an overview of what happened is, these, I have even color graded it. These four, five, six universities that's are in the top. These are the universities which are high priority, then lower priority. You can see the colors changing, right? And then lowest priority, and then backup kind of thing. So that is one thing that I did. Like I prioritized my, what to say, the courses which I'll apply for. And you can see there is almost like, I don't know, 20 universities and courses around here which I planned for. And I wrote down what are the different scholarships available for it, because one thing I knew is that I just couldn't afford to go for this, for any kind of course without any support or scholarship. So I knew I needed to do that. So I just went for the courses with scholarships, which I am passionate about. So I made that list, and then I wrote the program name, and then the city or country in which this happens, and whether it's a master's thing or a PhD thing. And then the deadline is basically the deadline for the application, and when the results will be announced, and what are the documents required. You can see here for one of the universities or one of the courses which I applied for. So this is the course I'm currently in right now. And you can see the things which they need: a degree certificate, a transcript, an IELTS certificate, and CV in Europass format, a passport, all these things. So you sometimes what happens is some people just go for it, but at the last moment they see that there is some kind of certificates that they left out, and it's impossible to get that certificate in 1 or 2 days. So that can be a big issue. So what I would say is, when you plan things, certificates should be your initial target to achieve. So you should just fill out all the things which are required for your courses, and try to get it as soon as possible, because any kind of things can happen with passports are generally faster to get, but sometimes with transcripts from universities, according to a university, it can just change. It can be delayed. Or maybe even your IELTS, because a lot of people are going out. According to your city, it can be a tough task to get an IELTS date. So all that you need to look into. And then I put a website link here so that I can use this as a what to say, as a reference point for myself. And then I took the coordinator's mail so that I can always talk to the coordinator, and then have a good rapport with them. So that is also one other thing which I think I try to do very much diligently. I try to talk with all the coordinators of the courses and understand what they require. And I was trying to be really friendly with them. And I am actually good friends with two or three course coordinators right now. And they even asked me to come to their home when I go to their places actually. So it's like I never intended to do that. It's like I just wanted to know what the course is about. But finally, we got into a good relationship, I guess. That's another thing which helped me out, I guess. And then you have the application fee, if any there is, and then the fees required for it, and what is the scholarship that they provide, and what is the if there is a requirement for GRE, if there is a requirement for IELTS and TOEFL, what is the and I also kept contacts of alumni so that I can contact them on LinkedIn, and any contacts of professors, and what's the status. So this is the thing which I made initially. So this is the one I'm showing you right now. But I also have like a finished thing, but I don't know where that is. This is the initial one. With the finished thing, you can see like what I applied, what I got into, kind of thing. And I have like colored it and stuff like that. So this was my reference, I would say. This was that one document which I kept as my bible for my whole journey, I would say. So this thing, everything revolved around this document for me. And I don't know how you want to plan it. And you can plan it anyhow. You can do it in an Excel, you can do it in a notepad, any way you want, but always have a plan. Like they say, if you don't have a plan, you plan to fail. That's basically it. That's what I believe in. And so yeah, this is it, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, someone with that, you need to do I need to know more about this, or
That's actually really nice, Vignesh. Like this is like I think it's a really nice layout of plan that you've created.
Mhm.
So now, like, what we can do is like just give them an idea about what Erasmus Mundus is according to you and how you have made a presentation on it. So we would love to see the presentation you have worked on.
No, actually, I don't have a presentation. I just have this thing right now.
This
Yeah,
was the Excel sheet. Okay,
yeah,
that,
yeah. But
that's that's
I can tell them what Erasmus Mundus is in my words.
definitely yes. They would love to hear from you.
So, because Erasmus Mundus, as Samanvita told before, it's a pretty prestigious scholarship, I would say. And it's the biggest scholarship in EU. And it's a scholarship provided by the Erasmus Mundus Foundation, which is funded by again EU. And this foundation, not it just not it does a lot of activities, and one of them is EMJMD, which is the Erasmus Mundus Joint Master's Degree. And that is what I'm doing right now. So EMJMD is something like that. This is a joint master's degree, and where you will have chance of at least studying in two different universities in two different countries. So it is at least two countries. Some of the programs have three and four and stuff like that. Like you have to change your university in every semester and stuff like that. So Erasmus Mundus provides you that opportunity, and they provide you with the scholarship if you're lucky enough. So there are three grades of people who can get into scholarship, get into the Erasmus Mundus joint master's degree. One is the A grade people. A grade means basically you get scholarship, and they provide you sometimes 1,000, sometimes 1,500 according to the program, per month, 1,500 euros per month for your expenses. And they take care of all the tuition fees and all the other administrative related costs. So you have enough money to live, I guess. And then the B grade people sometimes get fee waiver, but not the whole scholarship. And they sometimes they don't even get the fee waiver. It just depends on a lot of factors, I can say. And C grade people are the people who just get in self finance. So you can self finance yourself too. There are a lot of people who do that because Erasmus is a really prestigious one. You have that tagline kind of thing that you are an Erasmus student. So anywhere you go around Europe, you get that tagline. It's I would say it's analogous to how you have in India. Like you would say, like I'm an IIT, and so people, I don't know why they do that, but they respect you. In Europe too, is the same, I guess. But that's the thing. So Erasmus is kind of like that. You could get the tag, and so many people aspire for it. So that is basically what EMJMD is, and the purpose of it is actually they have their own purpose too, because it's not like they just want to invest in you and then they let you go to India or something. There is no bond here. That is one thing that I can say. There is no bond at all. Like there are some scholarship which keeps bonds. There are scholarships like Chevening which asks you to go back to your country after you're done. There is no bond, no catch at all like that. But they kind of know, like, you will probably stay in Europe and pay taxes for them and then help out in working out how to improve Europe in a sense. So they believe that with diversity comes empowerment, and with empowerment comes a good society. Like you could see how US is right now. How US became a superpower is diversity is one of the reasons why they are such a superpower. So Europe believes like they need that diversity, and they are funding it because they also have this thing, like, if you come, and they believe that these people can be helpful for them later on the in the course of their own country or in their own continent. So that is their agenda. Like, so many people ask me, like, why do they even provide you money for this, dude? So this is the thing you should understand. Everybody has their own reason to give it, and this is their reason. It's not like a short term vision, it's a long term vision. Maybe a lot of people may not even live here, but they know that even with that kind of thing, they know that a lot of people will stay back in Europe and provide them enough taxes and enough facilities for the country. I guess that's what their agenda or their thing is. But all in all, it's such a wonderful experience, because you get to experience different cultures, you get to experience different universities in different countries. And even though I say they provide around 50,000 euros, the experience is worth much more than it. Like, I don't know, they you also become a part of a network called Erasmus Student Network, which is called ESN, which is the biggest student network in Europe. And they also make a lot of events, provide a lot of facilities for you, provide discount coupons and stuff like that. That is that part. So Erasmus is one scholarship that I would say is quite balanced in terms of studies and fun. And like there are some scholarship which I don't want to name, but if you go into that scholarship, you have to like study very hard to keep that scholarship. Here you don't have to do anything, you just have to pass. And the thing is, you also get a lot of fun activities to do. Like, for example, in the past 3 months I have gone for around 6 and 7 trips, I guess around 7 trips around Europe. And that is all based on Erasmus stuff. Only one or two which I did on my own. Other than that, it was along with Erasmus Student Network. So that is other part of the thing which I want to say. Like, it's a very fun filled scholarship too. And I believe that it's worth the effort you put in. So don't worry about it. You can have fun if you come here. It's not just studies.
That's really nice, actually, and it sounds really fun, like how and what a scholarship can provide.
Mhm.
Um, so let us know more about the university. Did you get to choose the university that you're studying in?
Oh, okay. This depends on the course. Some of the courses, there is no choice of the university at all. Like, generally, Erasmus Mundus joint master's degree, the EMJMD, which we are talking about, is generally provided by 3 to 5 partner universities, and they will have a coordinating university which looks after all the administrative things. But there will be partner universities across which the students will be dispersed. So, for example, if you have a batch of 30 students, these students will be dispersed across these 5 universities in the first year. And sometimes it can be like the university will decide for you where you need to go, but some of them will provide you with the option for you to choose. For me, I had the option, and I just wanted to come to Scandinavia. I don't know why. I always had this thought that, like, I've seen a lot of surveys and stuff which said like Scandinavian people are the most happiest people in the world, and I just wanted to know why these guys are so happy. That's the thing. It's not just no. I just wanted to know why these guys are so happy. What the hell are they so happy about? Is one thing that I had a question in my mind. On a serious note, I always wanted to come to Scandinavia so that I could understand the culture here, I guess.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to experience the extreme climates here, and I chose Sweden as my first choice, and then Germany as my second choice. Even though I had options, I could have chosen between Barcelona, Nancy, France, and then Italy. But I chose these two because it also depended on my what to say track. There are different tracks in my courses, so my track would require, or I what to say, the infrastructure in these two universities I felt was much better. So again, I planned out those two. So it's like I checked out what are the different infrastructure they had, and then I did it. That's what it is. But some people just go for the fun of it, and some people also don't have many options. Some of the universities, they don't provide any option. You have to move between different universities which are fixed for the whole 2 years. So it is subjective. It is according to the course you have.
Okay, that's really nice. So let us know more about what are the courses that are available in your university. Like, talk about the university. Let the people know how good the university is and
Mhm.
what it has to offer to the audience.
Okay, the university which I'm studying in right now is called Luleå Technological University, or in Swedish, Luleå Tekniska Universitet. And this is the northernmost university in Scandinavia, and that is one thing they're very proud of. I don't know why, but they're really proud of it. And their motto is "Come here to have a cooler future." So you can assume how cool it is here. Not just cool, but in every way it is too cold around here. It goes to around minus 35. I don't wanna, so I don't know if this is a good promotion right now when I say it goes to around minus 35. But yeah, it is, you can have a lot of winter sports. So I'll just say about the fun parts first. So with winter comes winter sports, ice hockey. I mean, winter sports in terms of ice hockey, ice skating, skiing. We even have cross country skiing because the ocean gets frozen basically. So you can ski from here to Finland and then back. And the other thing is a lot of hiking, because Sweden is the country of natural reserves. There is around 600, I guess, natural reserves. So which is basically 600, uh, 600 or 6,000. I don't still remember, but it's one of the highest in the world. The number of natural reserves they have. So the natural beauty around here is like I have never seen something like it. So it's just beautiful. And especially when it's spring, it's like when the color changes and stuff like that, it's a beauty to behold. And now it is like the daylight that we have right now is from around 8:30 to 2:30, but now it's still fine. But you always have to take vitamin D here. That is one thing you have to take, because you never get sun. And you feel enormous joy when you find sun, because I remember one day we took a car to just find the sun, because we saw there was sun around the horizon, and when we took a car and went to just find sun, because it's such a pleasure to find sun in this cold temperatures. And then the other good things are basically the student culture here is like awesome. I know a lot of students from different universities in Sweden, like big universities like KTH and Chalmers. But the student network there is pretty weak, I would say, related to compared to us. So, because we recently had a cruise from Stockholm to Estonia, Tallinn, like a cruise ship from here to there, which was organized by the student community again. But the proportion of people who participated was the highest from our university. So you could assume that our university is pretty active in those kind of things. And we broke 3 world records in that cruise ship. Just a random flex. So that
Wow.
is so that is other thing which I like about this university. The student network is really good. And there's also one university which has a party place inside the university, which is just beside the library. I don't know why they build it like that. It's just like they don't want people to study at night. It's I have never seen a university which has a party place inside the university, which is just beside the library, which just doesn't make sense if you want to study. So this place is fun. So so that's
Guys, I hope you guys are listening to this. It already sounds so much fun.
yeah. So
So yeah.
that is the thing. And about the courses part, this is the fun part about the courses part. LTU has engineering courses, architectural courses, arts courses they have, but very few, and they have business courses. So it's not a pretty big university. It's a very, I would say it's a very modest university when you compare it to like Indian campus scales. It's like you could just walk around the university in just 10 minutes. That's it. It's a they like it's typical Swedish architecture, I would say. They like small things but cozy things. There are enough space inside, but you could all see everything in just this 10 minutes. It's a small thing. And another cool fact, they have a tunnel through all the buildings so that you can go across the buildings because it gets too cold so to go out. And
I
it's
don't know
also
about the audience, but I'm really excited to come and have a look at your university already. So since you mentioned architecture, I should
yeah.
see what's to be done.
The architecture, and it's also, the tunnel is not just for the cold, actually it's also part of their strategy for the World War III. If
Hmm.
there is a nuclear war, this thing changes into a hospital. This thing, they can transform it into a hospital in one day. That's how it is built, and all the people can reside in the underground shelter, which is nuclear proof. So
Nice.
because Russia is pretty near from here. Yeah.
Okay, that's nice. Moving on, Vignesh, let us know how tough was it to crack the Erasmus Mundus scholarship, and also let us know if IELTS is mandatory for this course, like to apply to any university, even through Erasmus Mundus.
Okay, I'll answer the first question now. So, how tough that question is, I don't know how to answer it actually, because the thing is, I have no idea, because one of my courses. So as I said, I had planned out different courses, right? So I applied for four different courses, four different Erasmus. Sorry for my voice. It's like because I went for this trip, my voice was all gone. I was so afraid that I couldn't do this thing. At least I can
No,
speak now.
you sound just fine. You can
Okay.
continue. Yeah.
The thing is, four of my courses I had applied for four of the courses, and one of them, general, it was a new course. It just started like 2000 in 2019. So there were only around 230 applicants for that. So I thought this was the course which I would actually get, and I had planned it like that because since there are less people, there is a more chance for you to get this thing, right? And then I applied for it, and then I applied for all the other thing, and then there was one course where almost 1,200 people applied for just two two to three spots. And I thought, okay, that I wouldn't get, so I put it on around in my fourth list, in my fourth priority, like a backup, not in fourth, like my second priority, because even though that course was one thing I liked, I kind of thought like I won't get it. But what happened is when the results came, the one with the less admissions or the less applications, with like 230 applications, I didn't get in. But the one with 1,000 applications, I got in. So I don't know how to explain it to you, which how hard it is. Like one of them I just lost out with 200 people, and one of them I won with 1,000 people. So it all depends on, I guess, uh, what they are looking for. With some of the board members, they look for people in a certain type of people, and some of the board members, they look for certain other type of people. Because, and I also got into another course. I was rejected in two, and like I was accepted in two. Two of them, I asked them, like, since I told you before, like I was in good contact with all the course coordinators, I asked them like a feedback thing, like what I could do better. So that is also other thing which I could provide value to the people who are listening. They told me like, I like your profile, but your profile doesn't suit us. That's how they said. Basically, that's what the two course coordinators told us. Like they said, we like you, but the thing is, we just can't take you because you don't suit to our profile. And the course which the one which they took me in, I talked with the course coordinator, and he was like, I remember your profile. And he said like, I just liked your SOP, that's what I liked. And I was like, what? And because maybe that's the only reason I got in, because I kind of wrote my SOP with a lot of thought. It took me around, I would say, more than, I don't know, I'm kind of embarrassed to say this, but it took me 2 months to write just the SOP. and I
Wow.
worked on it every single day because I knew that was one document you could save, around which everything regarding your profile revolves around, because SOP is your story. And for anything in life, you need to be a good storyteller. If you're a good storyteller, then you get that. That's how it is. If you're good at selling your story, then people will buy you. And I think that's how it is. So people from that board like my SOP, and they were like, yeah, this is the guy we want to invest in or give money for. So I guess, and the other part to this is, even though there are like a lot of applicants, one other problem we have here is me being Indian, and Indians have a distinct disadvantage to say, because Erasmus Mundus only provides scholarship to people from one country, for a maximum of two people. So Indians are the people who apply the most. So you are again in a disadvantage if you are an Indian, because you have more competition. If you have like at least 200, 300 Indians applying, you need to be that one guy, or uh, that one or two person who gets in. And again, if you are a guy, then you're still at a disadvantage, because guys apply more, but they want a 50-50% representation, which is a good thing. But I was just saying, so you have all these factors coming in, a lot of factors. So you just can't say how hard it is. Like I just don't know how to say how hard it is or how easy it is. I know, for a fact, they take only very less people. That's how it is. Yeah. Samanvita, you there? Yeah.
Yes, yes, Vignesh.
Yeah.
That's really nice. So
And
speaking
sorry,
of,
so,
I,
uh, sorry, I didn't
can
answer the second part of the question, right? The IELTS thing.
yes, the
Yeah.
IELTS part.
Okay.
Yes.
So about the IELTS, it's like almost every course that I checked into, they needed an IELTS, because in Europe, there is no common language other than, you could say, English, because every country has their own language, and they are very much, they do everything in their own language. So you need to know English at least to get to a point where you can learn their language. So that's why they have kept IELTS or TOEFL as a criterion. So generally, from what I've seen, it's 6.5 is their criterion, as a whole. 6 to 6.5 basically. I've seen some courses just ask 6, and some courses ask 6.5, and some courses even ask 5.5. So it depends on what your course is. You have to really go in and check in the courses, because some of my courses had 6.5 and 6. And so it depends on the university, and it depends on the course. But I think a 6.5 score is good enough, because I saw someone asking that in the comment section too. So
Yeah.
6.5 score is good enough, but it's always good to have higher scores. I wouldn't say you should aim for 6.5. If you have 6.5, then it's good. You don't have to rewrite it. But if you want to write it now, I would say aim for higher scores, uh, uh, because higher scores show that you have good command over the language, and it shows that you are interested in doing this thing. It isn't a big criteria, I would say. It isn't a big criteria at all, for because Europeans generally don't care about your English, because they are as good in English only as much as us. So it's just that. So they don't really care about your language skills in terms of English, but they do really care about if you learn some European language too, other than English. If you learn, because I had a German certification, and that is other thing which I would say you should have if you're applying for a university, or a course in Germany or France or Italy or Spain. It would be great if you learn one of those European languages. It shows your interest to actually go out and understand their culture, which shows respect towards them, and that goes a long way in securing your position, I would say. Yeah,
Yeah. So that's again that was about the most asked question. Usually everyone asks this question about IELTS.
yeah,
If IELTS is mandatory in the European countries.
yeah.
That was my part of asking you the questions. So let's jump into the audience chat section and see what people have to ask
Yeah.
you about
I'll just
everything.
go from the top to bottom then. Is that fine?
Yes, please. Yes, definitely.
So I see someone asking how much does GPA matter for Erasmus Mundus? Hitesh, I would say GPA matters. I would just put in my GPA here. It's not that great. My GPA was around 7.8. And GPA, what Europeans understand with GPA is that some of the universities are really lenient on GPAs. Like I have seen people who have 9.5, but they don't know basically anything at all. But I've seen some people who have just 6.5, but they know a good amount of, they have a good amount of knowledge on their subject. They know that, but they still keep a baseline of around 7, which I would say I've never seen someone get the Erasmus Mundus scholarship below 7 CGPA, which would be tough. Even though everybody knows that the GPA system in India is crap, because most of the private universities, they just know that because people want to go for masters, they most of the private and some of the government universities, I wouldn't say bad about them too. It's just that they just provide higher grades for them, and then which would make it easier for to get into the masters, and some people just don't get grades at all. So I don't know which part you are coming from, but GPA does matter. But what matters more is your skills, I would say. So this is very important. Your knowledge level and your skill are two different things. So as I said, even though I had less GPA, I had two papers published in my sorry, in my subject, which helped me. I had two papers published. I had a review seminar published, and these all I did in 1 year. So this is the other thing which I talked about. Why I woke up at 4:30 is to work on these papers, work on this, because I knew I had a lower GPA. I had less chance of getting in, and I worked on it by correcting it, by working hard to showcase my skills. I took some online courses to show that I'm interested in these courses. And then I think they understood, like, I'm trying really hard to get into this thing. And that's what they want people who are passionate about their subject. And passion, GPA and passion is not always congruent. It just isn't. Even though we can say, because people who can just mug up can also get GPA, and they know that, but they keep GPA as a baseline so that they can weed out the people who are really not into learning. And I think learning is also important in Erasmus Mundus, not just fun. So yeah, so that's my answer. If you have further questions about GPA, you can always ask. So is recording of this available? Yes, Soundarya, I guess it's available, right, Samanvita?
Yes, Vignesh, it is available.
Yeah.
It is very much available on Nbyula.com. So once today's talk is ended, you can find it towards the end of today. So it's all available on the platform. Yeah.
Okay. And Hitesh has asked another interesting question. It's what happens if you fail a subject as an Erasmus scholar? So if you fail a subject, generally in Europe, you have, if you fail just one subject or two subjects, you always have a re-exam. So it doesn't matter. You just have to pass it by the end of your course time. If you don't pass all your subjects in 2 years time, then you are not eligible to get the scholarship. After that, you get the scholarship until you're there. Even if you fail, it doesn't matter. So that's a good thing about Erasmus Mundus. If even if you mess up your studies, you can still get the scholarship for 2 years. But the problem is, when you have to stay for more than 2 years because you failed, then you won't get any funds from them. But you can always apply for other scholarships, but it still will be tough if you fail a subject. Yeah, so that's the point. Yeah. So next is just a sec. So that thing I answered, I guess. What are some point, Namita? What are some points to keep in mind while I apply for a scholarship? Namita, do you want to ask something more specific? Like I think I have answered this thing, but if you want to ask something more specific, I can always answer that now. And then Namita has no, sorry. Hitesh has asked is 6.5. Yeah, we have answered that, I guess. Then Namita has again asked how difficult was the transition from a considerably warm place like Kerala to where you are right now. Wow, that's a really interesting question because it was difficult. But I guess I don't know. My father was in army, so I used to live in Jammu before, and I was also in Agra. and then I came to Kerala, which is like my homeland, and I think it was a pretty smooth transition. I thought it will be tough for me when I came here, because, but when I came to Germany first. We had like an event in Germany and France for the first 2 weeks, and it was around 28, 29, which I'm very much used to. And they were really sweating everywhere, and I was like, this is normal for us. And then I came to Sweden. It was like around 18, 17, and then it gradually went down. So I never felt that big issues. And also, it's like I tried to be a lot like Swedish people, because I have a lot of Swedish friends. So I go out with them every morning for a morning swim, like an ice bath. So I guess that also helped me out, I would say, like in coping with it. Like now I'm pretty much used to the cold. Even though first when I went for a cold swim, I was just numb for like at least half 30 minutes, I guess. I just couldn't understand what's happening. It was too cold for me. And then I just got so used to it. Right now I would say I tried very hard to make that transition smooth too. It's not just like it went naturally. So yeah, that is one thing. And Ria asked, how much do grades play a role in selection in Erasmus? Yeah, Ria, I think I've answered the same thing in other way, but I would say grades play at least, objectively speaking, at least 30% of your application is your grade. Yeah. Did you have to write a letter of motivation? Yes. For every course, they need a letter of motivation, or in other words, what I call as a statement of purpose. Or sometimes it can even be a video of motivation. Some of the courses, they ask you for a 5 minute or 4 minute video where you have to put out why you want this course, why you want this country, what you intend to do after this course, kind of things. So if there is one thing that I would want to say, and if there is one thing you want to take away from this talk, it is that letter of motivation is the central pivot around which everything regarding your application revolves around. So if you want to spend time on something, it's letter of motivation. And never ever copy anything from the internet, never ever use a reference for it. Mine, I never used it. I deliberately tried not to read anything regarding a letter of motivation, and I did it in my own unique way, and so it went out in a unique way. Because they'll see a hell lot of letter of motivation, and even if you think you just want some kind of reference, it becomes too hard not to plagiarize. Like subconsciously you will try to make the structure in your thing. And if you have a like a regular standard structure, it will just go in. Because you see, they have to read 1,000 letter of motivation, and they have just 4 or 5 people. So don't assume that they'll read the whole thing. They'll just read the first 2 or 3 lines, and they'll just toss it in the bin. So that's what happens. That's the sad reality, but that's what happens. So if you want to gain attention from them, you need to be unique, you need to stand out. So your letter of motivation should be something really engaging. And I'll share the Excel sheet for you guys after this. I don't know how to share it. Someone with how can I share it to them?
Vignesh, you can just mail it to me, we can put it out on our platform, live on our platform.
Okay. And I can also
Yeah.
provide you a CV template, but I will never send you the SOP which I did. Not because I don't want it to go around, because I would say that would be a big disservice to the people. Because then
Yes.
you will just try to emulate what I did, or it may not even work for you. It may not even work for
Right.
the personality that you have, because your personality reflects in your SOP. And when they interview you, because that generally what's happened, they interview you, they can see that this SOP. Because I've seen a lot of people who have given money to write their SOP, like 10,000 rupees to write an SOP and stuff. Like, there are services in India which provides it, and there are services outside India which provides it. But trust me, I've never seen anyone with that thing. Never have I seen those people win it. Because you just cannot buy into a scholarship. That just doesn't happen. So be genuine, be unique. Even if you fail, you just know that you tried your best.
Hmm.
And next is, thank you. What can we expect in the interviews? For very good question. I think I didn't talk about the interviews at all. So generally, what happens is, after you apply for your scholarship, like in Erasmus Mundus, what happens is the application closes around January, February for most of the things, and then the results will be announced in April, saying that you are selected for the next round. So next round can be some kind of one of the courses I had like an MCQ test which I had to write, and then I had to give an MCQ test, and after that I had an interview. And one of them I just had a small interview, like a 5 minutes interview, and it was done. So it all depends on the course, but interviews, what they generally have is like they have a board of members who will ask you very very fun questions. Like one of those interviews which I had, the one which I got into is like, uh, they just asked me like, what do you like about the place? Like I applied for a scholarship in Madrid, and then I told them like I'm a big, like if you guys follow football, then I told them like I'm a big Barcelona fan, and I talked to them about football, and it was just about football for the whole 10 minutes. It was just about Messi, Ronaldo, and all those players, and whom I like, about the stadiums and about the fans and stuff like that. And when they saw that I'm passionate about this thing, and like there is this thought, right? The way you do something is the way you do everything. So if you're passionate about something, maybe you're also passionate about the other thing. That's what Europeans generally believe, and I've heard Europeans say that a lot of times. The way you do something is the way you do everything. Like even if you like, how to say, uh, when you wake up and when you don't like put your bed in proper form, that shows how you are. Those small things, those details, there lives the god. And I think that's what they're looking for. They just want to see who you are as a person, and if they like you as a person, they'll take you in. Yeah, Messi fan. Yeah, Kumar. Yeah, me too. And
Oh, so am I.
I think I don't see any other questions here. But guys, if you have anything, you can just ping fast. Uh, but I don't see any more questions here.
Okay. So Vignesh, what we can do is, so if they have any other questions based on Erasmus Mundus or letter of motivation or letter of video of motivation or anything else,
Mhm.
they will be spinning like these quests on Nbyula.com. So what you can do is, I'll share you the link of whichever quest has been asked.
Mhm.
So if you're free, you can answer those questions there. Or
Mhm.
what we can do is like, we'll be providing the recording of this talk
Mhm.
towards the end of today or tomorrow.
Yeah.
So once that is live, that will be shared on our Instagram page.
Mhm.
So yeah, that should be helpful. So guys, Vignesh has just started a poll. Just you all can just vote.
Okay. I hope there are at least 4 to 5 people who are saying it's good. Yeah.
I can't see even a single one telling no. So that's 100% Vignesh.
Thank you, guys. At least you don't want to break my heart.
No,
Yeah.
it actually was really helpful. The entire talk, the entire information that you provided, and the
Mhm.
sheet that you shared with us, the entire plan that you did throughout. It is really going to be helpful for everyone that attended the talk.
Yeah.
For those of you who have missed it, definitely they'll be watching the recording later on.
Yeah.
So yes, that's I think that's it, guys. Do we have any other questions?
Sorry, someone with actually, I had to show one more document which I had made.
Yes, please,
I don't know.
please.
But do we have time?
Yes, definitely. Just go
Okay,
ahead.
just a sec. Uh, So I think I talked to you about the SOP, right? For SOP,
Right.
what I did is, this is one thing I did, which I personally followed. So before writing the SOP down, or before writing the CV down, before writing anything down, I wrote about myself. And it can be a quite a daunting task, like writing about yourself. But one thing that I found out by writing the SOP, even though when I said it took me two months to do it, it helped me out to find out what I'm actually passionate about more than. And I loved it. I was like, even though I don't get this thing, I don't care right now, because I just know that I understand myself much. It was kind of like a meditation. I don't know. It was like I was writing about myself. I was writing about what I like, what I don't like, and it was just for me. and then I filtered it down to an SOP. But I just wrote it down for myself, and then I understood, like, yeah, maybe these things which I say, which I like, I don't like, and there are certain things which I don't like, which I like, and there are certain things which are complicated. And yeah, so I think that's the fun part of doing this. And I hope you guys have fun in doing this. That's what I actually believe in. Like, do whatever which makes you happy. It should be fun. It should not be a daunting task. Like, it should not be like, I should wake up at this time and do this. It should be something you are looking forward to doing, and that's what I believe in. So I'll just show you a quick document. Again, documents, yeah. So this is one thing which I made. Yeah, you can see what I did. So I basically wrote down a lot of stuff about myself, and my mentor actually helped me out in doing this, and he just wrote down what should I add, what should I not add. So that is one other point which I really want to talk to you about. Like, uh, I had like at least two or three great mentors whom I could bank upon every time. And they never said like, "Oh, I cannot really help you out right now," or something like that. They always scheduled it for me, and I also always tried to like be good with their timelines. I scheduled it a week ahead or something like that. And guys, just try to find out some people who can actually help you out. It necessarily doesn't mean like you need to find out a scholar who will help you out. It can be anyone who actually knows how to do this. It can be even your best friend, but someone who will just help you out in your time, so that you also feel motivated, and you also feel like, yeah, this is because when you see just through your lenses, it becomes really binoculars. So it's like you can't see anything outside it, and then it becomes really a small narrow vision. But when someone says, "Oh, maybe this doesn't come out as good as you thought, maybe it comes out as egoistic, or maybe it comes out as stupid," and then you feel, yeah, that makes sense, maybe I shouldn't write this down, and then you correct it according to. But finally you take your decisions, but you always hear out what they want to say, and then you say, yeah, this makes sense, like these guys are what these guys are saying. So I was always had some people who would always help me out in refining my things, whichever things I wrote, SOP, LORs. And I had great professors who actually wrote, I mean, the LORs which I had, I am always grateful for them. Like the LORs from my boss, even though generally Indian companies don't do that, and because they don't like people going out of the company. But my boss was so good. Like, she wrote a beautiful LOR for me, and she just sat down and wrote it for me. So it's like, I don't know. If you ask me, it's 50% me and 50% all the other guys. And I don't know how many people to thank right now. It's just a lot of people. And it's just not me. I don't think I could have done this alone. It's a lot of people. And I think that's also one most important, that I would say, thing which I want to say, you should think about a good support of a good amount of great people. And that's what helps you. It's you to do it alone. Maybe you can, some people really can, some people are really good at that. But I think I'm really grateful to all those people, I would say.
That's very thoughtful of you. So, guys, I hope you all found this talk really helpful. As I can see, 100% votes on the poll. So it was great having you with us, Vignesh, and would love to stay in touch.
Yeah,
Like I earlier told, you can connect with us on our platform, and we can have more of these talks whenever you're free, and keep
yeah,
giving your insights on different things.
yeah.
And also, really, like, we are really thankful of you for taking your time out and doing this with us, and for helping us and the people who are watching this.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it. So I think we really had a productive talk today. So looking forward to more of these, with Vignesh hopefully, and the other people coming up next week. So guys, stay tuned for more Nbyula talks, which are happening the next coming week.
Mhm.
Also, thank you once again, Vignesh. It was really nice having you here on our platform.
Yeah, sure. And I also want to thank you guys. Like, you are doing a great job. Like, this thing which you guys are, I don't know whether the audience really appreciates it, because it's because if I had a chance like this, I would have 100% taken it to hear out some person who actually did something. Because I never had that chance, and I was in a constant lookout to get that one person, and it was too tough to find that thing. And I think Nebula is doing a really commendable job, and thanks to you, Samanvita, and thanks to your team that you're doing this awesome job. Like, I'm just a mediator for this, but you guys are the real pros, I would say, to doing this, because you are conducting this on a regular basis, and I see there are people who are attending it on a regular basis, and I'm sure they'll get whatever they deserve out of this. Like, if you work hard, if you work hard along with this, I think you will surely get, if not Erasmus, something else, but you will surely get something out of this, that I'm 100% sure. And I want to
Yes,
thank all
that's
of
for
those
sure.
who attended this, and who are really, I would say, really active in the comment section. It's a great thing. Yeah. I'm also happy that some people were there to hear me out.
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much for your kind words.
Yeah.
Also, guys, coming up are talks on in Lux Shivdasani Scholarship. We'll be having Mr. Mustafa Shahid with us, and we'll be having Ms. Saroj Chowdhury, who will be talking about her life in the Queen's Mary University as a Chevening scholar. So, and also we have another talk by Mr. Gulzar Hussain. So stay tuned for more talks. Like Vignesh told, these are going to help you guys if you want to go study abroad. So stay tuned for more insights.
Yeah.
This is Samantha Srinivas
Just,
signing
just,
off.
just one more point, Samanvita. The Chevening thing is also really a really great scholarship. So guys, just check it out, because I would highly recommend it. It's a great scholarship to get into UK, and it also provides a good amount of money. So check it out. You can sign out now.
Okay, guys, signing out again.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, bye, guys. Thanks.